Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel. If you're not new here, thank you for coming back. We are going to get stuck straight into this yoga practice today. So come and join me in a seated position on your mat. It doesn't have to be legs crossed. It can be any seated position that feels comfortable in your body. We'll take a moment to lengthen through the spine, sitting up nice and tall, lowering the gaze or closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. Allowing ourselves to settle. Noticing how it feels sitting against the ground. And allowing our awareness to land on our breath. Observing the gentle inhale, gentle exhale. Allowing every breath in to lengthen, every breath out to be about equal in length. Filling up until we can feel the gentle rise and fall of our tummy as we very slowly and steadily breathe in and breathe out. A couple more breaths like this. And then we'll very gently flutter open the eyes. Come and join me in a tabletop position. So creating space between the fingers and the thumbs, we want wrists underneath the shoulders, we want knees underneath the hips-ish. And then with an inhale, we're going to allow the tummy to drop, lift the heart, take the gaze forward. And as we exhale, we're going to pull that lower tummy up, round through the spine, take the gaze to the knees. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to round. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, rounding. And then come back to a neutral spine. We're going to bring the big toes to touch, take the knees wide and settle back into Balasana, into our child's pose. So allowing yourself to settle and sink into your mat. Taking your awareness to your breath. Taking each breath in all the way down the spine, filling up the sides of the body. And slowly releasing. And then with your next inhale, we're going to slowly bring ourselves back up to our tabletop. Reposition the knees underneath the hips, and we'll start to create a figure of 8 movement. So I highly recommend closing off the eyes, feeling into this pose. You'll know what feels about right, what's right in your body, and just work to that. As we start to get into the knees and the hips, the wrists. And then we're going to attempt to reverse our figure of 8, so going in the opposite direction. And then we'll come back to a neutral position. We're going to tuck the toes. As we inhale, we want to pull in that lower tummy, hover the knees off the ground about 1 inch. And then with your next exhale, we're going to send the bottom back, coming into our first downward facing dog. So practice with kindness, with ahimsa. Keep the knees bent, keep a softness in the body. Allow the head to nod. Just check where the weight is, see if we can push out of the palms of the hands and into the heels of the feet. Heels do not need to touch the ground. See if we can lift that lower tummy so our sitting bones are the highest that they can be. Take a full breath in. And a sigh out through the mouth. Find a little bit of a pedal through the heels, through the knees, the hips. And then with an inhale, we're going to look between the hands. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat. Take your feet at least hip distance apart. And we'll come into a forward fold. So hands can be on the ground, or you can bring opposite hand to opposite elbow into a ragdoll. Allow the head to hang heavy. See if we can release through the back of the neck. Keep as much of a bend in the knees as you need. Take a breath in all the way to the base of the spine. And as we breathe out, visualize that breath rolling down the back of the spine, the back of the neck, and out through the crown of your head. Maybe there's a little bit of movement here. There doesn't have to be. It's only if it feels good. And then we'll slowly bring the hands down to the ground. We'll heel toe the feet in a little bit closer together. We're going to bend into these knees, take the chin to the chest, and very slowly start to roll up through the spine, through the body, into our standing position with the head coming up last. Lovely. So we'll find ourselves in our Tadasana. We want to lengthen through the back of the body, lift up the toes, create some space between the toes. See if we can plant them back down. Take those shoulders all the way up to the ears, and with an exhale, see if we can release backwards and down, palms facing forwards. Chin is parallel to the ground or very slightly tucked. And with an inhale, we're going to sweep the hands up and over, bring the hands to Anjali Mudra, take the gaze to the thumbs. Take hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and on an exhale, we're going to come into a right-sided side bend. Inhale to come back up to center. Swap the hands over. Left hand takes hold of the right wrist, and then exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. We'll bring the hands behind us, interlace the hands. See if we can pull the shoulder blades, the elbows, the palms towards each other, opening up through the heart space. Take the feet slightly wider if that helps with balance. And with an exhale, we're going to slowly come into a forward fold. So again, allowing the head to soften, the neck to soften. Maybe there's a little bit of movement. And then we'll release the hands. We'll bring the hands down to the ground. And as we inhale, we come into a halfway lift. So option to have fingers on the ground or to the shins. As we exhale, we melt forward into a forward fold. We want to place the hands down on the mat and step back with the left foot. So we're coming into a high lunge. We want to plant the left hand, inhale, sweep the right hand up to the sky, take the gaze to the right thumb. And then with your next inhale, we're going to slowly and steadily, and see if we can do it without falling over, come up into a lifted lunge with a twist. Now you might be quite happy here, or you might like to see if you can bring this right hand down to the leg and raise the left fingers up to the sky. And then inhale, bring the hands back to shoulder height. Exhale, bring the hands down to the ground. We're going to reposition our feet. So turning that back foot parallel with the back of the mat, preparing for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Lead with the left fingers. Inhale, windmill the arms round into our Warrior 2. Allow ourselves to settle. Make any adjustments that you might need to make. And then take the gaze over the middle finger on the right hand. As we breathe in, we lengthen and lift. And as we breathe out, we soften and settle. We're going to flip over this front hand. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, bring the hands back, warrior 2. We're going to straighten this front leg, come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So inhale, lean forward with the right fingertips. Exhale, finds that twist. Gaze can be up or down depending on where feels good in your neck. And hand can be here, can be here. You can bring it onto a block or onto the ground. What we're really looking for is opening up through the heart space. Exhale, bring this left hand down to the mat. We're preparing for pyramid pose, so step in very slightly with that back leg, straighten through both legs, make sure the hips are pointing forwards, and then we're going to come up. Inhaling, lifting up. Bring the hands behind us, opposite hand to opposite elbow, or if it's available, you can come into a reverse namaste. If it's available, it's a tricky one. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, open up through the heart space, and then with the exhale, we're going to pivot from the hips with a nice straight back. Release the hands down to the ground. Step forward with this left leg. Inhaling into a halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, sweeping the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Heavy head. Inhaling into our halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. This time step back with the right foot into our high lunge. This time plant the right hand down. Inhale, sweep the left hand up to the sky. Take the gaze to the thumb. And then with your next in-breath, we're going to come up into that wobbly lifted lunge. So as we inhale, lifting up, maybe we can take the gaze towards the thumb on the left hand. Maybe not, we don't have to. Work with what's available. Perhaps from here, you'd like to take the left hand down to the leg, right hand up to the sky. Inhale, bring the hands back to shoulder height. Exhale, windmill the hands down to the ground. Turn that back leg parallel with the back of the mat. Prepare for warrior 2. Lead with the right fingertips, windmill the hands round. Lifting up, making any adjustments that you might need to make. Taking the gaze over the middle finger on the left. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to soften. Flip over that front hand. Inhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, bring the arms back to shoulder height. Straighten that front leg, Trikonasana. Inhale, lean forward with the left fingers. Exhale, find that twist. Gaze can be up or down. Bring this right hand down to the ground. Prepare for pyramid pose. So step forward with that back leg. Readjust the hips, making sure they're pointing forwards. Inhale, rising ourselves up. Bring the hands behind us, opposite hand to opposite elbow, or that reverse namaste if it's available. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pivot from the hips. Bring the hands down to the ground. Step forward with the right foot. From here, we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold. So you want to step the feet out lengthways along the mat. Toes are pointing forwards. Bring the hands down to the ground. Lengthen through the spine. And as we exhale, see if we can allow our spine to settle, allowing gravity to do its thing. See if we can release through the back of the neck. And then with an inhale, we're going to slowly bring ourselves up to halfway. Keep that left hand down on the ground. Inhale, sweep the right hand up to the sky. Take the gaze to the thumb. Exhale, bring that right hand down. Swap hands. This time with the inhale, left hand up to the sky. Gaze to the thumb. Exhale, bring that hand down. With the next exhale, we want to see if we can allow ourselves to soften. Inhale, lifting back up. We're going to heel toe our feet into Malasana, yogi squat. And then when we're ready with an exhale, we're going to allow ourselves to settle into our Malasana. Option to keep fingertips on the ground to help with balance, or you can bring the hands to heart center. If you find this quite easy, see if you can lift up about a centimetre, an inch, something like that. See if we can use the elbows to guide the knees out. And with every in-breath, we want to lengthen through the spine. So lengthening from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head. 3 full breaths here. And then we'll pop these hands down. We'll bring the hands behind us. We'll come to seated. We'll keep the knees bent. We're going to window wipe the knees from side to side. And then when you come back to the knees on the right side, see if we can stop here. Sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll come back, bring the knees back through center, and then allow them to settle on the left. Again, seeing if we can come and sit up nice and tall. When you're ready, we'll bring those knees back to center. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together into Baddha Konasana. Now, heels can be as close or as far away as your knees allow. Taking hold of the feet or the ankles, wherever feels comfortable, sitting up nice and tall, keeping those shoulders low. And with an exhale, we're going to allow ourselves to melt. So just allowing ourselves to settle. Releasing any tension, any tightness. Surrendering to the pose. And then with your next in-breath, we'll slowly make our way back up to seated. So you're comfortable, your chosen seated position, lengthening through the spine, allowing the shoulders to soften, lowering the gaze or closing the eyes. Taking a moment to check in and notice how we feel after this short practice. Aware of our body against the ground. Aware of our breath. The gentle inhale, gentle exhale. Starting to invite that breath in, taking long, slow, deep breaths all the way down the spine. Feeling your tummy fill up, your chest expand, and breathing into the space behind the collarbones. And very gently allowing each breath to release. You are more than welcome to stay here for a little bit longer if that's what you would like to do. Otherwise, we will very gently flutter open the eyes. Bring the hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Om Shanti.